let me. Um, okay. Do you mind if we do a little intro to what RD2L is before they get into draft?
Of course not.
All right. Well, for those that don't know, RD2L is a player-based league. Essentially, anyone can come and just sign up and play. You can also come and sign up and captain. However, there's no MMR floor for players. There is for captaining, or you have to be vouched. And most teams are pretty even. You usually have an immortal, divine, ancient, legend, etc. Sometimes you'll have like a crusader or a herald thrown in there, depending on signups. And essentially, it's BO2 once a week, and the day depends on the division you want to join. So, say you're free on Sundays, you can join Sunday. Monday, for example, is the same thing. And you can also do if you're West Coast, we have PST Sunday, and if you're East Coast, we have PST Sunday or EST Sunday. And yeah, I mean it's a bit of a time committal, but it's also a fixed schedule. So it's an 8-week BO2 group stage followed by typically a 5-week playoffs, and you pretty much just come in for the entire group stage. You play your 2 games on a set date at a set time, and then you proceed through the playoffs, which are BO3, which is what we're also going to see here in the grand finals. And it's just a cool way to kind of get, a bit of a more competitive environment while still keeping it kind of casual.
And I think this is the third time now that I've casted the finals, so it
Yeah,
always comes up.
season 17.
It always comes up way earlier than I expect it to. But you do it every 3 months or something?
Yeah, it's 8 plus 5 weeks, so about
Gotcha.
13 or so weeks
I see.
on average. I'm
Just
not
about
sure if the
4 months,
playoffs
yeah.
are set, but yeah. But it's just fun because we have the Discord and people are always sitting around shooting the shit. There's in houses sometimes you can meet people to pub with, and like I said, you get to play captain's mode 2 matches a week, which is something that a lot of players, especially of lower skills, never really get to experience.
Yeah.
And it can give you a lot of insight, and you get to play with, if you're a lower MMR, you get to play with players way better than you, and if you're a higher MMR, you learn to draft around, team deficiencies and weaknesses and stuff. So it's pretty good learning experience for all players.
Okay. Well, what can you tell me about these 2 teams so
Well,
far?
we have Rats versus King Retard's Baby.
Rats sounds
So
familiar. Have we casted? They've been finals last time.
we no, but I think they may have had a similar. No, last time I think it was Skater versus Bubba. I think it was Kobold Taskmasters versus. Maybe they did. I'm not sure, but they there was another team called Rats. I think it's a different composition,
Gotcha.
but they are also RD2Lers. And they both kind of have a standout player. So for Rats, we have Kuzi, who's a pretty high MMR. He plays either 1 or 2 for them. And for King Retard's Baby, we have AR, which is why the AR in their name is capitalized. Every game I've seen him play in mid, save for 1, he's just killed it. So he's
Cool.
a pretty high skill player.
Maybe we should just call them King Baby instead.
Yeah,
probably
we'll call him.
the best.
We always get one of those crazy names in the in the grand finals.
Crazy / messed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's,
it's fine. It's fine. Ban
Right,
wise, this doesn't look that different from TI in some ways, except for the Dazzle ban. That one's weird, and the Lena ban first phase. But the other 4 heroes, definitely first phase bannable heroes, so not too different. Wind Ranger first pick, definitely weird too, but probably a preference
Well,
thing.
yeah, it's actually so for King's Baby, they have a 100% win rate out of 10 series that they have played with Dazzle, and for Rats, they have an 80% Lena win rate. So these are more respect bans, I think. And Alchemist, Kuzi plays Alchemist. I think they've run the position 1 IO before, but the Ancient Titan seem pretty standard.
Gotcha. And the A pickup as well. I kind of like this. Is a hero that was actually really popular during qualifiers, so TI this year, just because A helps you guarantee a kill on somebody, and so Mars plus A is certainly going to be a lot of damage. It's kind of cool.
The arena setup's also very nice since they can't really reliably escape.
That's a good point too. Yeah, should make Ice Blast easier. And Ice Blast is like a way to force a fight against your opponents that they know they can't win if you can lock them down and land the Ice Blast. So it makes a lot of sense. Although I don't think I've seen too much A in pubs recently, I must say. Haven't encountered it much myself.
Yeah,
It was just easy to forget.
Yeah, and I think I usually see him banned because there's always, at least in my pubs, a contest between Alchemist or AA getting banned. If AA is banned, it's just an insta-pick Alch. And then if Alch's banned, then you don't pick AA. So maybe that's why.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team back.
Now, these are some interesting heroes. just want to throw out that there's a 100% win rate for King's Baby with the Mars, and on the flip side, Rats, they have 11 matches played of Abaddon with a 90% win rate. So these are very
Cool.
comfort picks.
Well, it's really good this game anyways. Like, even if you didn't tell me it was a comfort pick, I would have been comfortable with Abaddon here. It's very good for dispelling Cold Feet, either while it's dealing damage or after the stun comes, same as Mars Stun. The only big negative is that Mars Stun pushes people a lot, or the arena goes up and you can't always get close enough to dispel, but in principle, it's definitely really solid here. Earthshaker ban, probably a preference thing, I'm guessing. Lifestealer,
Yeah.
very good at just raging to dodge the Mars Stun or the Cold Feet, so it's a pretty easy counter. Maybe we'll see a jug, who
10
knows.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, the ET and the ES are targeted towards King's Baby's captain, Bjorn. He is very good at ET. I think he might be like level 21, 22 on that
Oh,
hero.
jeez.
And yeah, he plays a lot of ET with a very, very high win rate.
Team ban.
Faces
So
Void
that's
ban
it.
now. Good teamfight hero, was pretty effective at TI with the right lineups. I guess it does make a lot of sense is with an A Mars lineup. Definitely combos well for setting up kills, so I kind of like it. Yeah, so I think bans at this level are probably really hard to generally predict because some of them
10
seem a little bit
seconds remaining.
random, I guess, if you haven't done the research. So
Yeah, it's one of those things, kind of like respect bands, essentially, and just comfort picks. In my opinion, just from casting a countless amount of RD2L games, is that the more comfortable you pick for your players, the better you'll do instead of trying to copy, what's the hot meta or the best picks, according to the pro scene or high level pubs.
yeah, that makes sense. It's pretty, because it's really bad if you pick a hero for some player that isn't comfortable, or like me, I play a lot of different heroes, so it's not the end of the world if I have to play a hero I'm not super comfortable with. But for the average player, if they only play like 10 heroes in their role, and there's like 30 heroes that could fit in their role, and you pick something they're not comfortable with, it just really messes up a lot of their game sense, confidence, all that stuff. So it makes sense that you would want to get them on comfort.
Team pick.
OD
Yeah.
ban for similar things, save against A Mars, and they pick the SD, so that's also gone.
How do you feel about Shadow Demon right now? I see him picked all the time. I think his W is ridiculously strong.
His W is really good for sure. He's a very popular TI hero. He towards the end he ended up being a little bit ignored at times, but the ability to save somebody from a big team fight ultimate is a massive advantage, which is really nice for the hero. And he lanes well. He can do lots of damage. Obviously, some heroes counter him, like Abaddon could shield off the poison halfway through, for example. That's not a great matchup. And you can also dispel Soul Catcher as well. So those are big negatives. But it's actually a perfect SD game because it's also good against Wind Ranger. Because when you ulti her, then it's going to auto-dispel Wind Run as soon as she uses it. So it actually makes a lot of sense for them to pick SD here if they're worried about being a counter and also for it being good against Wind Ranger.
Yeah, though, I think a lot of people overlook the fact that it will just dispel Wind Run immediately, the same way people forget that you can also... Does Enchantress's W still dispel the Wind Run?
Yes, it does as well.
It does, yeah. There's a lot of people that don't know that.
Yeah, it's easy to forget actually because it wasn't like that for a long time. And most of the time you use it on somebody to go after them to slow them down or whatever. So it's definitely easy to forget.
I think this is going to be a 659 here. Actually, 9 on it.
You are a
10
robot,
seconds remaining.
unfortunately.
Oh, connection's weak on Discord.
Okay, you're good now, I think.
Is it fixed? Yeah, it's saying that I got a little red bar on my Discord.
Gotcha. Mine's still green, so it's got to be your fault.
Yep, it's probably it's back. It should be
Okay.
stable now. Well, I was saying that last time they played this, 659 played it, I believe, in the safe lane. But Kuzi, I know he also plays this hero, so
Okay. I mean, I feel like Wraith King is one of those carries that almost everybody has played at least a little bit, so I'm sure they can be flexible with it. One benefit actually is because they're so cooldown based on King Baby, that having a reincarnation is going to be really nice for Wraith King. It's kind of a good counter. Against like typical carries, it can be beaten down, or against minus armor heroes, it can be fine, but Wraith King should be okay. I guess A is an amplifier too, so A kind of counters it as well a little, but I don't know, we'll see how much magic damage they're able to deal.
10 seconds remaining.
how do you
Gyro.
feel about this gyro?
It's I mean, if you didn't watch TI a lot, it was a hero that definitely trended from the beginning to the end of TI.
Yeah,
Just
I was just
because
catching most of the games.
of how much magic damage he does. He's good at rotating. A lot of teams are running in mid consistently. Just give him lots of early levels, which makes sense because maxing out Rocket Barrage increases the damage by a massive amount. Getting more flat cannon levels, all that stuff is like a huge advantage. And because his base damage has been buffed a little bit, he's actually fairly competitive, especially when you throw a Basey on him, which is another trend that's been happening. Is people buying Basey on cores now, and he actually he was probably one of the heroes hit really hard by the Aquila removal because it was an easy way to build an item that gave you mana over time, and he needs mana to do damage into farm. So rebuying Basey now, which probably should have been the case the whole time on him, to be honest, is really helps him accelerate. Most players go like what phase double Wraithband, they get a Basey and then a drum, and they just fight all the time, and then they buy Ags afterwards. So it can work quite well towards making you a good strong fighter early mid, and then you can transition nice into late game with Ags.
I also like the ability from Rocket Barrage to still deal damage to Windrunner, even when she's trying to Windrun on you aggressively.
That's true. Yeah, it's not bad.
This is another popular hero here though,
10
Tiny.
seconds remaining.
Yes, definitely had a great time at TI.
Artillery Tiny with the Aghanims is the new popular thing.
Yes, that shit's really good. I do like it against a Shadow Demon. They're both semi-burstable, so that'll be somebody he's going to be looking for. Survivability-wise, he's going to have tons of armor, but there's still a lot of magic damage, so he's definitely burstable himself. I think it's a good pick, though. It could work fine. That kind of looks like... I mean, it could be a 4, could be cores. It was typically much more core, except for OG was running on Jarix quite a bit towards the end. So
Yeah, the first I saw his trend upward in pubs was as a 4, but then I saw him getting picked a lot as a core because of the amount of insane damage he could do with that Ags and a Daedalus. Now, what about the CK ban?
that one is confusing me. What's your Twitter again? Subject Dota?
Yeah, okay, subject Dota with uppercase D.
I forgot to put it on my Twitch header, and I don't want people to keep asking. I think the CK is a hero that is potentially very, like, basically they have really shitty AoE lockdown. I think CK actually would have been a big nuisance for King Baby. It's also a hero that does a lot of single target damage, which is typically what Gyro's a bit weak to. So I actually think CK would have been pretty solid as a hero pick, with the exception of the fact that there's already, I mean, I guess there aren't 3 cores yet if the Tiny is a 4, but hypothetically it could have worked. It could easily jump on the supports in the back line, kill them instantly. They'd have a lot of trouble dealing with it. I think it makes sense to ban. And they go for the Mirana. So I'm assuming that's Mirana for Abaddon 5, Tiny 3, Wraith King 1, Wind Ranger 2, most likely. And this is the definitely one of the first early pick heroes at TI, just because of arrow setups. They can do it with Shackles, they can do it with Tiny stuff, they can do it with Wraith King. So I think it's going to have a place this game. But on the bright side for King Baby, they've got a Shadow Demon, so they've got somebody that can save the arrowed targets.
Can you leap out of Mars Arena?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So that's one hero that can escape it. Now, with the last pick here, do you think they will keep this Gyro as a mid? Does Gyro struggle against the Windrunner, or
it's probably
they
fine.
adjust?
It kind of seemed like Gyro was just picked pretty much whenever in the mid lane, and it did okay. It wasn't really something they had to worry about much. What they're missing is they could pick some like semi-carry, hard carry. It doesn't have to be super hard necessarily. It probably should be, I guess, because Mars doesn't scale super well. They need some like hard carry that does... I don't know, what's the solution here? An AoE stun would be kind of nice. I don't know, maybe they'd be crazy and do something like a Tide, potentially. No, I don't know. Tide's kind of good. It lanes well against Wraith King, but they wouldn't have that much carry potential. I'm not sure. They go for Ricky. Definitely not that very small guy there. Wasn't expecting that one. I'm going to assume that's going to be a Ricky mid then. I assume they're going to put like Gyro in a safe lane, maybe with Shadow Demon. Ricky could potentially be like another lane, but at least in pubs, at higher level pubs, he's been much more popular as a mid hero. And AR is their which role
He's
player?
the mid. Yeah,
Okay.
He should be their mid player. These teams do flex between Kende and AR, and then also both 659 and Kuzi. They just kind of alternate between 1 and 2. I've never seen King Baby personally play Ricky, if my memory serves me correctly. I have seen Kuzi play Ricky. He destroyed me on a position 1 Ricky, but as far as where AR is taking it, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. I think it has to be a mid, according
Yeah.
just based on what they have.
And I think it'll be really good this game. Smoke Cloud is like amazing against a lot of these heroes. So even though it just happens to be an okay hero, Smoke Cloud against Mirana is amazing. Against Abaddon, it can be really good. Against Wind Ranger, it's excellent. So if he can lane pretty well and then transition into ganks, it'll be really solid. But one of the big downsides of their lineup is they do not have good and easy disables, so it's going to make it a little bit hard for Ricky to get kills at times. Like they've got Shadow Demon ulti and Homing Missile, but that's delayed, and then Mars Spear. So I think Ricky Smoke Cloud's good, but he's gonna have to rely on himself to set up kills. I feel like in a lot of cases. So I don't know. We'll see
Do you
how
think
that
he'll
works.
be able to have a good lane? Because it looks like it's going to be the Windrunner.
Yes,
versus-
I assume it's fine. I mean, he's got regen at level 1. I think teams, if I had to guess, I would say teams ended up not playing him much at TI. I think he got picked once by Infamous. I think he ends up not being really good is because he has trouble scaling into the late game, because you spend so much time like pressuring heroes and ganking a little bit that you give up on farming kind of for a long period of time, and then you just don't scale as well on items. You're also a pretty slow hero, so it's maybe takes too long to move around the map or something. But I think lane wise he's fine, and gank wise he's really strong. It's just how well he works in the ultra late game is my assumption about where he has some weaknesses. So we'll see.
out of just straight out of the draft, who do you think has the more solid draft? Because it sounds to me like you're kind of saying basically with the Ricky usually having trouble transitioning into like ultra late game. Maybe the Radiant have less of a timer on their heads, maybe.
Yeah, you could definitely argue that. I would say it's safe to say that the Radiant team has more strong heroes, maybe TI worthy heroes. The fact that they have a Mirana looks really good, but in the same vein, we're watching like vastly different skill level of players.
Exactly.
So it could be completely different. Like watching TI level teams for a while, you're just like, oh yeah, Mirana's really good, but they have to land the arrows, they have to coordinate it perfectly. So with that said, it's probably easier for the Dire team to execute. Everybody's skills are pretty straightforward, whereas the Radiant team has to coordinate a little bit to make their Tiny and their Mirana useful. I guess Tiny's offlane, so maybe not the case as much as I thought, but
Oh yeah, that's CLT.
yeah, we'll see. I think the AA and the Shadow Demon kind of create a little bit weak lanes for sure. I'm a little surprised SD didn't go with Gyro, I guess. I would have thought that it would be AA with Mars. I feel like that would be better, but maybe I'm wrong here.
And I have watched both of these teams play extensively. I think this may be the closest grand finals we've casted in terms of overall skill level overall for the whole team. Kuzi's team, they play either they focus on Kuzi, and Kuzi being their star player, you know, kind of makes all the space. The last series they played, though, the big focus was on 659's Wraith King. I think he was 13-0. Meanwhile,
Is
that's,
659 in this game, or is he the
yes,
next
they're not
up?
using their actual name. 659
Of
is
course.
their mid. That is Windrunner, and I refuse to switch between Spanish and English to say his name. I'll just call him Windrunner and Wraith King because he also does not have his proper name, I believe.
That sounds reasonable. I guess it's kind of nice that Wind Ranger does have a nuke that's really strong, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for Ricky to deny like all those range creeps. I don't think he's noticed the observer word yet, though. That's kind of weird. I would have thought. I guess he's waiting to eat it until he actually needs to eat a tango. That's my guess.
One thing I will say, I think this draft does play into the Radiant or the Dire's strengths as far as their team play. And actually, in the bottom lane, never mind, you get speared back. They, as interviewed by the captain himself, Bjorn, they goon at you. They just run at your players, and their team seems to definitely have a lot of that. I think with the Gyro, Mars, and the Ricky in the mid game.
Yeah, that could work really well, depending on like lane setups and stuff like that. Well, Ricky's damage is actually really impressive now. 61 plus 2 with a Fairy Fire 2 slippers. That's before Cloak and Dagger bonus. It's really solid. Wraith King owning 8 last hits so far. But other than that, pretty normal stuff. Well, Mars actually just got his first last hit. Good for him. I guess this is awfully not going so great here for the Dire team. King Baby, I guess.
Yeah, they have. The Wraith King does have, you know, quite a bit more damage, I guess, than the Mars. But Mars's animation, I found it to be pretty good. Oh, that is what you were talking about in terms of lack of coordination. They miss it,
Yes.
the combo, and now they turn around. They do have the shield.
I mean, I was surprised he didn't. I was surprised he didn't disrupt earlier, because he was basically standing there versus 2 heroes, and there's a whole creep wave. They could have just disrupted him. It would have been perfect surround, more or less. I assume that would have worked out better, but
think
Picks
that would
up
have been a kill.
Bulwark.
Abaddon seemed to be pretty far
Yeah.
from the Wraith King at that point.
It's pulling or something like that. Or at least a lot of damage dealt. Either one is really useful. Oh, I think that's a regen deny by Wind Ranger. Nicely done. He guessed his position. He still hasn't killed that Observer Ward, actually. I guess he's going back now, finally. I mean, he could have grabbed that earlier. Gotten gold acceleration experience, maybe. Maybe a little bit of a mistake to wait this long, but... Wind Ranger uses Wind Run as soon as the Riki jumps forward here.
This actually seems pretty evenly matched just in terms of their overall CS, so I guess I expected it to go a little bit worse for the Riki.
Oh, really? No, no. He's apparently a really good mid laner. And
I
like,
guess that backstab is, or the Cloak and Dagger really does add up in terms of being
Yeah.
able to CS.
and the regen, and also if against mid heroes that can't instantly defend themselves, they have to worry about him jumping on you with a Blink Strike for 50 mana. She can just press Wind Run, so it's not as big of a deal. But if it's any other typical mid hero like a Lina or something, every time he jumps on you, he's getting at least one, possibly two hits to your back, which means you're just going to get out traded generally. And then once you do end up going invis, then he gets more regen anyways. That was a
Try
good.
for the Shackle, that was a bit of a delayed power shot there. The Shackle had already missed.
I guess, but she had to channel it anyways, right? Otherwise, she wouldn't have gotten the kill. See, there's the blink
Now
forward.
It's
And
jumped on, yeah. They do have Wind Run available in just a
Don't
second.
think
trying
he's
to trade
gonna-
up with the Riki.
he's
got
gonna
the
blink strike and
Nano.
kill her, I think. I would have gone for that. I guess she has a Fairy Fire. He does too, though. I think he might have been able to kill her there.
Maybe a little too cautious.
I think so. I think that was a kill personally, but it was definitely a little scary. What's that
Yeah,
arrow?
a little bit off
Okay.
the mark.
Guess he wanted to. I don't. They weren't going to get a kill there because Wind Ranger had no mana to follow it up. But Potom gives it the taunt. We got an Abaddon deny here after getting disrupted. How's last hits? 23 on Wraith King. I mean, it just looks like the Radiant team is farming much better right now. Dire team is
His
just.
bottom lane is concerning me, actually. Mars only has 6 CS. That's pretty bad for 4 minutes into the game, and he's backing too, so he's walking back to Fountain.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising to me too, because he basically had his support sitting there the whole time, but they still had troubles getting last hits. I mean, even though Mars' base damage is, I guess it's not as good as Wraith King is, but Wraith King is also level 4 here, so he's picking up a little extra. I don't know.
The
This
strange thing to me is how he's playing the Mars. He's not, even if you're not going for a kill attempt, even just spearing a hero to a tree to deny a range creep, for example, to me would seem completely worth it. It's one of his
Yeah.
strengths in lane.
I would agree with that, but his item build has been kind of weird too. He's rushing Soul Ring, which
Oh,
is
actually,
not
SD gets gone on. They have the spear back, but that's first blood from the skeletons.
yeah, super easy kill there. I just think they're not catapulting on those laning advantages like you're talking about. Bounty Rune's coming up now. Looks like the Radiant team's gonna get all 4 probably. This is rough. Yeah, not taking advantage of those options. The Soul Ring Rush, as we've learned from Slacks today, it's not great. It leaves you at a vulnerable point for the first like 800 gold that you get it, and even once you do get it, the spells that you're spamming if you rush it are only like level 1, level 2 spells, so they're not actually like that abusive unless you get the right heroes. So I do not believe
I feel like if he had a stick and, even
A
just
bracer or
phases
something, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bracer,
phase.
any sort of strength or armor, at least the armor component.
he would lane better as a result. Yeah, get more last hits, be less likely to be zoned, that kind of a thing. Absolutely. He also got Bulwark level 2. I don't. Do you play Mars? You play Mars offlane?
I
Do you
do.
get it level
Yeah.
2?
I don't. I tend to generally ignore the spell and favor the spear a little bit more. I feel like, you can... Once you do get the Soul Ring, it's obviously more valuable, but I just feel like Bulwark, especially in a lane like this against 2 melees, it really isn't doing much. In fact, they go on SD again, and SD is taking so much damage from the spear. It's not going to be enough, and it does get dispelled as well, and another easy kill on the Shadow Demon. I'm not
Well,
sure what you can do here.
Abaddon is basically functioning like a nuke hero, so the lane is kind of dead. Yeah, the SD just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he should have pressured more. His other mistake was he got disruption level 1. That didn't make sense. That he maybe did it for the
in
bounty rune,
top
but
lane. We have a bit of a fight here. CLT going up against Kende. Kende uses his mango, but CLT nice jukes into the trees. They have vision of him momentarily. Little Pink Rose doesn't have the levels necessary to actually secure this kill. Rev still has a leap available, plus a stick charge and another leap. CLT does get his salve canceled a little bit early, and I think they don't have an active shrine.
yeah, everybody just kind of ruined each other's games right there. But Clarity Potion and the extra tangos on A as well are going to be pretty. I think Dire Team wins that one at least. So I think that's the one lane that's going kind of good for what's their name again? KB? I don't know, King Baby? For King Baby?
King Baby,
Like
yeah.
the off lane feels like a train wreck to me. 23 last hits, it's pretty weak. Ricky's doing pretty good mid, I guess, is the best one. He's just outlasting the Wind Ranger at this point. But, yeah, outlasting
Kinda sad,
DD
even
heroes.
with the double damage, it's Ricky still can CS against her with the cloak and dagger.
Yeah, I mean, he's got,
Bonus backstab.
he's basically got 60 damage bonus here from the agility bonus. Is my math right? Yeah, 63. So he's got like a 0.7, 0.8 damage bonus. Look at this, he's actually going aggressive on her. That's crazy.
Just, yeah, with the focus fire, but he's been doing a good job keeping these sentries up for himself, so she doesn't actually ever have vision of him in cloak and dagger until he reveals.
Yeah, so he always gets the perfect angle, higher chance of denying, and he gets more regen. While
On the
while
bottom lane,
she's
there was a
invisible.
defensive disruption used, so Bjorn will survive for now. They throw another miscoil, but no, actually, Wraith King, he's diving him. He hasn't leveled his ultimate at level 6, but they are able to secure the kill, and Abaddon with that shield, they'll both be completely safe.
He does not need his ulti in this lane, I don't think.
Yeah,
It's
there's no threat of dying.
it is a dead lane. This lane is
Oh, rip.
Not
Ricky
successful.
jumps on the Mirana. Mirana, she had 3
Oops.
leap charges.
not watching her hero, I guess. I don't know.
Like, slow reaction time. Maybe just clicked and tabbed somewhere else on the map.
The sentry control in the mid lane is even more important because of the Mirana. Think about what Mirana's been able to accomplish. I don't know because I haven't been watching her, but arrowing mid probably more difficult. Ricky's armor is stupidly high as well, so even if he does get arrowed, lower chance that he gets killed, especially with like the mass Wraith Band builds. Oh, he does get arrowed this time. There's the dust.
Oh, can they get the kill?
Okay, they did get him. Nice arrow. Works
That
out.
trade has that slight little cast point on it where he has to kind of jump up in the air.
As
Pretty
is
fresh obs too.
as is intended. Can't give him can't make everything easy for him. Yo, this would be a great game for Wind Ranger to build a Veil of Discord.
We'll go for a nuke build.
I love the Veil build on Wind Ranger. I don't play Wind Ranger super often, but whenever I see something like a Ricky, like Wind Ranger has, I guess with phase, you obviously have a lot
Oh,
of
there's
armor.
a shackle shot in the mid lane. Shadow Demon gets the disruption off, but
Ooh.
oh, the miscoil is not going to be enough. Just barely survives. And now AR, he has come back in, has the phase boots available, using his
wow.
ultimate, brings down the Abaddon. And they get a return kill, and the Shadow Demon, he manages to survive a gank finally.
Good for him. I get maybe she's fine because she has phase boots, but armor against a hero like Ricky, especially if he smoke clouds you when he goes on you with like Diffusal Blade, armor makes a huge difference in the hero. It's just adding survivability on somebody that already has a survivable ability can help a lot. But the game's kind of getting out of hand a little bit here. There's a massive last hit advantage on Wraith King. 73, next closest is 49. That means he's entirely free farmed. And
I for a kill here around rune time. AR doesn't have his ultimate. The power shot, it actually brings down Bjorn near instantly. And Ricky trying to finish off the kill on the Abaddon. The Spear of Mars will be off the mark. They don't have detection for this. AR will be able to snipe the rune. And Wraith King's trying to get up to the high ground. Ricky's going to have his ultimate soon. Wraith King doesn't have the mana for his ultimate. He does now. And how many runes was that for each team? Was that a 2-2?
Looks like a 3-1.
3-2. 3-1, okay.
So mostly Radiant profiting there. Mirana arrowing creeps to level up. Tiny still laning. Normal skill builds here. Nothing too weird. No base yet on Gyro. That's probably the weirdest thing that we can see. Guess he's just gonna skip it. I do kind of feel like it's a pretty important part of the hero viability at the moment, but I don't know. We'll see.
He has a couple of stacks at least to farm in the jungle. Using the call down there.
Yep. We could just draw him at a reasonable time. Drum will actually be pretty nice to help people. Oh, wait, sorry, that's his team. I was gonna say get out of the smoke clouds, but nope, does not need that.
Speaking of smoke cloud, I had seen the Windrunner queue up a Force Staff as their very first item.
Oh, okay.
But they decided to go back, and they do have a Javelin now on the courier. I feel like the Force Staff maybe it would have been a little too early against the Ricky with the low level
Yeah.
smoke cloud.
That's true, and also he doesn't have Diffusal Blade yet, so you can get out of the cloud. I like the idea though. I think it's definitely smart. But yeah, I think going for at least the Javelin, maybe Maelstrom first is definitely the safer move here. Ricky actually pretty squishy with magic nukes. He's definitely killable here. Mirana
They have a
trying
lot
to.
of them. They have the tiny Abaddon's Miscoil to an extent, Power Shot, Starstorm is level 3. And they are going for a kill here on the Mirana. Mirana, she is silenced for now, and that last Blink Strike is going to finish her off.
Yeah, she was very dead once the smoke cloud came down. I mean, she contested the gyro a little bit.
Ward.
No, she depressed her a little bit. She stole like 2 large creeps from the gyro, but you know, also gave them gold back, so maybe not the best thing in the world. But Tiny actually just rushing a blink dagger this game, a little surprising. No
There's a
mana
ping in the
items.
bottom lane. They're going on Mars. The shield comes out.
The
TP,
bulwark.
They don't have any stuns as arrows. Is the arrow good? Oh, the arrow actually manages to connect on Wraith King, or on Mars, and one more right click there. Now a killing spree for the Wraith King, and it seemed like Mars was almost safe.
Yes, I didn't click on him, so I don't know exactly what his timer was. I thought he was going to be gone for
It
sure.
seemed long.
It was long.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure where he was TPing. In the top lane, though, AA Blast coming through. Gonna be fine.
Give yourself a shield. Oh no, his ulti's going to proc now. Shield yourself! No. Dumbass. Oh no.
Well, at least he used the miscoil there to give it himself a
True.
little bit more health
It
during
definitely
the borrowed time.
could have been worse, certainly. All right, Wraith
Windrunner's
King.
getting close to this Mjolnir or Maelstrom.
I suppose so. I mean, everybody's kind of farming garbage compared to Wraith King. He's had an extremely free game so far, so his farm level is like insane right now. Much higher than we would normally expect.
I really did not think that lane would be such an easy lane for the Wraith King. Mars,
Ooh,
I
great
guess-
shackle mid.
Oh, I missed that one.
It was they basically like dusted and chased the Ricky, but there was a nice shackle right before he ultied, and that gave them enough damage. Really nice kill. He is now. Does he have Javelin or Maelstrom finished? Yeah, he does. Oh no, actually, he's going back. He's just gonna leave it at Javelin.
Oh,
Kind of
really?
an
What
interesting
happened?
choice.
I was like, where'd all his gold go? I guess he was just getting the force.
Yeah, which I think is okay. I mean, Maelstrom is less damage than it used to be. What's 150? It's like 15, 30, and another 7. So it's like a 37 damage per attack item. Magic damage per attack. Javelin is 25. So it's actually not that much better anymore than what just the Javelin is.
Looks like bottom lane is going to be defended. There are 2 TPs coming in as well as 2 TPs to the shrine. The blink in from the Tiny. It's revealed. They go on Mars. Mars goes down immediately. The A blast is coming through, but Kende needs to be careful. Does have the call down still. Drops
Perfect
it.
shield.
Is this going to be another kill? And the power shot, it comes through as well. The defensive disruption, but now he's just basically setting it up for the Radiant to be able to bring down Kende. The shackle shot, it connects as well. And this gyrocopter is doing a pretty good job at juking, but he's going to run into the skeletons. Another avalanche there. And they bring down the gyro as well and defend their tier 1.
Yeah, that was an anti-good disruption for sure. I mean, it just needed to disrupt Wraith King and hope that he runs away. Something like that would have been better, I think. And that was the first blink reveal for Tiny. Gets a kill with
I
it.
believe so.
Still has no mana, but I guess he'll be here for the push. They're just going to go for the really quick tier 2 with 5 heroes. Which is not common.
They are kind of spreading out a little bit. Mars, I'm not even sure if he's used his arena at this point. Only being level 7, 1 point into God's Rebuke doesn't really do all that much damage. They may try for a kill here. AA Blast is coming through, and Tiny, he doesn't have all that much mana. The AA Blast, it does connect, but no, he actually completely misses the arena. And it looks like the Radiant, they will be okay. AR, he's on top of Rev. The homing missile's on him as well, using 2 of the leap charges. Still has 1 available. Needs to be careful when this missile connects, though. The Abaddon is here to dispel it. No, he's just going to let his Mirana die, but they also use the Demonic Purge. They get the Shackle on the Ricky, the defensive disruption. That time it was pretty
Great
good. I
disruption.
think he still has his ultimate available if he can get it off. No, he's just going to Blink Strike to the low ground. And that actually ends up being pretty good.
Such a value disruption, actually. That guy was 100% dead. He got tossed in there and everything. He was definitely chain stunned. Both bounty runes go to the Radiant team, though. We'll see if they can get top, maybe. What your Abba
TP's
doing?
available for the Dire?
That's a good question, dude. He actually did not save his Marana, but his Marana has finished 4 staff already, which is a pretty quick rush here. So now they have 2 4 staffs instantly at the start of the game. 15 minutes in, one on Wind Ranger, and 1 on the Marana. Plus, Radiance is almost done. Only about 500 gold away. This looks like a really fat win for the Radiant team, in my opinion, so far. But we'll see. Maybe they can make Arena of Blood into Ice Blast give more value than a 10k gold advantage at 15 minutes. You never know. What do you think? Is there a chance?
I don't know. I mean, it's concerningly out of control. I mean, it's 16 minutes, 10k lead in terms of net worth and also the experience. And I guess AR goes down as well. And that's,
Where was this? Oh,
it
mid.
seemed like top lane was their best lane. Well, mid lane was their best lane in terms of laning phase. But Gyro seemed to, maybe would have some sort of mid game impact. But at this point, even when Ricky's just being bursted like this because of all the magic damage, I just don't really see how they come back, I guess.
Yeah,
If the Radiant keep up the pressure.
Yeah, I definitely don't expect a lot. Gyro is definitely not a bad hero, but you need to take him in some of these early fights and do well. I just don't really foresee this happening. All right, Rad on the way for the Wraith King. And now they're going to push mid with their huge gold advantage.
Yeah, they still have the skeletons, 2 lives on him. CLT, he's waiting with the Blink Dagger ready to burst any of these supports that show. And that's some good preemptive warding out of the Radiant as well. They put the sentry up behind the tier 2 tower as well as an ops to spot the shrine.
Let's spot the Riki now. It instantly
Well,
started
that's
attacking.
an illusion. That is actually just a Riki illusion that they committed to. They
committed
the focus fire as well.
Yeah, they committed to that one a little bit too hard. That one was, in my opinion, kind of clearly. He like walked in and attacked once and it didn't do anything, and they still hard committed.
No damage to the creeps.
Like I'll forgive the first guy that throws a spell, but they threw like 3 spells on him. A little bit overkill. Yeah, back to farming. 10,000 net worth on our alchemist. I mean Wraith King.
Yeah.
Seems like nothing is in sight for contesting him.
Who was it at TI that said that Wraith King was like Alchemist Light with his
I don't remember.
skeletons?
Maybe Kyle. I'm not sure.
Like you just pop your skeletons in the jungle and suddenly the entire woods is just cleared. And you don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, it's definitely really good at that. Definitely helps a lot. He's going the blade mail build. Actually, like this. Hector was doing this originally. He'd be like phase, obviously Midas, Radiance, and then you go blade mail and he'd skip Blink Dagger. And I thought it worked kind of nice because it just increases the survivability of your hero by so much for each life. And people are going to cast spells at you. So it kind of just works out. More mana pool. There's a lot of good things about it, actually.
Also, Gyrocopter essentially does uncontrollable damage in team fights if he uses his spells properly, which is always
Super
good
good
to have a
point.
blade mail against.
Yeah, against
They
Rocket
do have a
Barrage
smoke
and
play
Call Down.
in the top lane,
Really
Bjorn,
good.
he has the disruption. Can they get in position? No, they have the Force Staff, the missile. It goes on the Abaddon, but Abaddon, he immediately pops his ultimate. I'm not sure if that was a misclick. They don't even rotate anyone up here.
Yeah, that one confused me. That's for sure. But it's okay. He's making all of his mistakes in the mid game when his team is so far ahead that it's difficult to lose. Better that than the laning stage, right?
That is true. I mean, he did pretty good in the laning stage. Now, in the bottom lane, this Radiance, the blade mail is also complete. Look at AR. He actually is forced to use his ultimate just to survive that.
Jeez. He doesn't even have detection. How's that even
this
happen?
Wraith King is terrifying right now. 11, almost 12,000 net worth.
On the bright side, the rookie does have a Diffusal Blade coming, so hypothetically he could mana burn Wraith King down. Maybe?
I feel like it might just be tough because, I mean, even if you do have this window with the Diffusal, at the rate that Wraith King is farming and getting all of his solo XP, that level 20 is going to come a lot sooner than the Dire expected unless they make a lot of moves here to slow him down. And at 20, then it no longer counters him.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. He's accelerating too much. I think the other issue is that Ricky's going to want to go for squishy heroes on the backline anyways. For the most part, he wants to target Wind Ranger. He wants to kill Morana, those kinds of heroes. If that's even possible. I mean, they've all got Force Staffs finished at the same time that he finishes his Diffusal Blade, so I just don't know. And if Ricky's off pushing lanes, which he doesn't do that fast, he's not ganking either. So they kind of have this like lane push problem on King Baby. They don't push lanes well. It's just like there's a tiny one shot. Maybe they'll.
Echo? No, he doesn't have the Echo yet.
He did not need it, that's for sure.
That is a D ward, so they know where AR is. They drop the sentry. Are they going to be able to bring him down before he gets his ultimate off? No, they're not. Is anyone in position for the blink strike, though? Going to blink over to Kende. The dust is popped, and CLT, he's in. He gets the avalanche. The disruption there on the Tiny might be able to save this Ricky's life. The 4-step forward. They have the arena available, but I'm not sure this would be the greatest fight to try to turn into. And Wraith King, he just mans up, pops his blade mail, has 10 stick charges as well, and Calabas, he actually has to run away. The shackle shot, it connects on AR2. If they know about this, they'll be able to get the kill. The focus fire comes in. Ricky goes down as well. Another Wraith Fire blast on Bjorn. Not sure if the captain will even be able to survive this. He pops his stick, but one more crit from the Wraith King finishes him off. And this is just kind of going from bad to worse for the Dire.
It really is. This one looks really rough there. Committing the Mars ulti, that was the first Blink Dagger reveal. A was dead, so he couldn't even contribute here.
Dead again, just as you say that. He gets hit by the focus fire in midair.
I don't like this A skill build either, the max chilling touch. I think there's maybe some games where it works, but they basically had no ability to kill in either of the two lanes for King Baby. It's a gyro with like with an A with max chilling touch. And then on the other side it was a Mars with a Shadow Demon. Why not put Shadow Demon with gyro and then put A with Mars? They could chain their stuns together. Cold Feet with Mars Spear. That would make a lot more sense, I feel like.
Yeah, especially with how useless the SD actually just seemed in the laning phase.
I mean, that's more of a player problem,
maybe.
but
yeah.
But I think he could work okay with Gyrocopter. Especially, we're on a lane top anyway, so you would think you would want the SD up there. I don't know, I'm kind of confused.
Saves.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Wind Ranger doing the right thing here. You can buy like 2 medium-sized items, and you need to buy a BKB on the hero, because otherwise things like silences or stuns or magic burst is a little bit too scary for your hero. And when she goes BKB, then she can buy whatever she wants for the rest of the game.
And Ricky did attempt for a solo kill on the Abaddon in the river, and he just got force-staffed out by Marana. So these double force-staffs, it's going to be near impossible for him to actually stick on anyone without some incredible chain disables from his team.
That's nice. Wraith King going BKB next just to guarantee that he doesn't die pre-20 if he picks that up.
Now, there is another smoke play from the Dire. They might try to bait Kende, or they might let... I think he needs to join the fight. They can't just let him farm woods while they go in 4-man, because their 4-man is not very powerful. You have the Blink Dagger. They would need to catch this Windrunner. They do capture inside of the arena. Now the Ice Blast comes through. The Ice Blast isn't even going to connect. No, it actually completely misses. They pop the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have any detection? No, they don't, but this should maybe be a kill. They probably pop the Dust. Little Pink Rose carrying some AR. Finishes off a 5-kill streak on the Windrunner, and Moonlight Shadow also committed there.
That was really scary. If they didn't get that kill, it would have been really rough. Ice Blast is going to miss sometimes, of course. And it's good that Mars is pump faking a lot, because you got to land your spear. Helps a lot. So they get her. She had to commit almost everything on their team, but they get the important kill. 500 gold for Ricky is a lot.
Yeah, and according to the post-fight, that was basically about 1,000 gold swing in favor of the Dire just off 1 kill. That's how far behind they are this game.
That's pretty good. Oh, when did this mid-rax go? I don't even remember. Is that new to you?
I actually have no idea. I just saw Wraith King diving.
I have no idea.
Tier 4s, and now that you mention it, yeah, the mid-rax is actually just gone.
He's like hitting the shrine. I'm like, wait, they got a tower? And I look mid. I'm like,
was it just skeletons possibly while he was diving? Because AA died. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. It's when AA got tossed back into that kill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's when they
God, that was so early on in the game. I forgot about that.
It was so fast too. It doesn't even stand out.
I watched it. I literally watched them hit barracks, and I still couldn't remember. My bad.
You know, with this game being such a stomp, there's another thing that I kind of wanted to point out. So Bjorn's team, King's Baby, they only dropped 1 game in the entire playoffs, and I don't think they dropped an entire series during the whole season. Meanwhile, Kuzi's team, the Rats team, they lost more playoff games. I think they were losing to some pretty low-seeded teams. They dropped the game to our team. We stomped them. The only games I've ever seen either of these teams lose throughout the season have been just stomps, like absolute stomps. Like Bjorn team, the ones that are kind of losing pretty badly right now, King Baby, they got crushed in a very similar fashion in game 1 a couple days ago, and then they came back and just completely readjusted their draft, flipped the lanes completely, and you know, game 2 they just absolutely dominated it. So I would like to say, generally, when I see a game like this, that it's like, okay, well, this might be an easy 2-0, but I've seen both of these teams just get absolutely crushed game 1 and then just come back and sweep the series.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're going to lose this one, that's for sure. And
yeah, this is 18k behind.
Even if they drag this out for another 10 minutes, it's still a pretty fat stomp for sure. Tiny's almost got Ags now. I mean, everybody has items that might want them except for Abaddon. So, I mean, Ricky's going to have an S and a Y, but...
I mean, the Windrunner and Marana are already doing the saving. Oh, they actually go on the Gyrocopter. He might blow up Kende. He's a little bit tankier with that Aghanim Scepter as well as the Ogre Axe. The A-Blast, this one's going to connect. They drop the call down as well. Can they save him? No, they can't. The arrow, it does connect, though, on the Gyrocopter, and there is backup. Wraith King coming in, a defensive disruption. This is a pretty good one, but Wraith King has now arrived. We'll try to bring down this Gyrocopter, who is as good as dead, and it's a mega kill streak for the Wraith King.
Yes, just rolls in, gets a kill. The disruption was great, but the fight was not good. I mean, they killed the Tiny at least. They probably got a lot of gold for that, but no, it's actually about equal, it looks like.
Did you see that power shot with the 15 talent take half of Ricky's life in one
I did not,
power shot?
actually.
It does so much damage to this Ricky with only 1200 HP to his name. Went for at this point I might have just gone for the songs before the Yasha, to be honest, just to get a little bit of extra health. He's that squishy.
Comes the Ice Blast. Hits quite a few actually. This is good.
They still have the 4-staff. Oh, but the Shackle, it connects on the only tree there. They bring him down nice and quickly, and he has no buyback for 50 seconds.
Yo, that looked like a kill for sure, but that Shackle guarantees it.
One lonely tree.
Well, Wraith King only has 9,000 more gold than the Gyrocopter at this point. We'll see if they can hold on.
They have two 10-second BKBs as well.
That's a lot of gold. That's true.
Well, they're about to get some Radiance Illusions here, so that's pretty good. But the arrow, it connects on the back line, so there's no Mars Arena to save anything. Bjorn, he uses his Dispel here on the Tiny, but can they even bring the Tiny down? He's still getting saved by the Abaddon. The BKB pop by the Wraith King. They turn around. Are they going to be able to bring down the Mars before anything even happens? And they kill him while he's running away. And the arrow, it connects in the power shot as well. They killed Bjorn in his own fountain without even diving it.
Yeah, there's a buyback. That's definitely not a buyback moment, I think. I think that's when you just save your gold and say, like, okay, they got our racks.
Oh,
Maybe they won't get
the
the
spear
next
on the Tiny.
It's a decent fight. No BKBs. Oh, this is a huge kill.
This could be a big kill. The arrow, it connects on Gyrocopter, though. Gyrocopter needs to be careful. Ricky jumping in the backline. He brings down the Abaddon as well. Kende, he's taking a lot of damage, but the Cold
It's not
they
bad.
actually connect on the Wraith King. They spear him back. They connect against
They might
the
kill him.
structures. Tiny, he's getting low. He's also blinded by this smoke cloud. The Fusel comes out. A double kill for AR. Second life for the Wraith King. He pops the skeletons, but he's only got one skeleton. The Ice Blast isn't going to connect. He actually sidesteps it, so no, it's not going to. But the arrow, it connects on AR. Do they have the detection here? The Radiance burn.
Good
It's
push.
a lot, and that was a max arrow. And now it looks like Wraith King is going to be able to turn around, maybe get the kill here on the Mars. The Wraithfire Blast plus the Skeleton Focus and the Radiance Burn, they bring him down as well.
It was cool to spear the Wraith King away to reduce the Radiance burn to the Ricky. That gave them a little bit of time, but yeah, he just they did kill him, but now he's level 21, and yeah, gave that 2 little slaps, and now he's out. He's going for the
AR,
hunt.
he uses the Blink Strike forward. The Radiance, they do have vision just barely, and AR, he eats the arrow and the crit to follow. He does a buyback.
Those are nice advantages where your support had dewarded a lot, just had sentries all over the jungle. Pretty straightforward. Now he's hitting buildings through, not backdoor because he has creeps pushing in the other lane, but yeah, they're doing a lot of damage here. Oh, we should have turned off his Radiance. Apparently you can do that as you come out of Disruption. You can turn off your...
Because I thought that they had fixed that. Well, they do disrupt, they do dispel him here with the Demonic Purge, but he, of course, has that second life still available. Rev, he was hit by the Ice Blast, the shield keeping him alive for now. Can they bring out the Wraith King? He has his Blade Mail on, so Kende actually taking quite a bit of damage. AR, he has joined the fight off of his buyback. They have the Diffusal Blade, but the Diffusal Blade immediately removed by the Abaddon Shield. Now Wraith King turns around to man up, but is this a mistake? They finally get him. A nice shackle shot, but just a little bit too late. AR, I think he might have forgotten that they already had sentries in the area. Needs to be careful. Blink strikes back onto the Shadow Demon, and they remove a lot of the health, but I'm not sure about that disruption. That might have just given the Radiant some more time to actually come back into this fight. Now the 10-second BKB used by the Windrunner.
It's time to
I
disengage.
think that might be it.
Yeah. That wasn't all bad for King
no,
Baby
Mars,
there.
he jumps in. They
Okay.
catch CLT. The missile, it's going to connect as well. The Dire, I'm not even sure if they have detection. Bjorn, his dust is actually still on cooldown. They do see the Tiny for just a second. They have the missile, which is currently following him, but Abaddon being nearby means they more than likely won't be able to kill Mirana in the trees.
Oh, shit.
Going to be able to TP away. The missile
Yeah, this one's
just
over.
slowly following.
Good luck. The chase is over.
Yeah, that was a lot of fighting, but not really too much in terms of a comeback for the Dire.
Yeah, it wasn't. They needed more. I mean, they still got the Wraith King, and they got, what, 760 gold on the Gyro, which is going to be really nice, but they needed more kills for sure.
Does that seem right to you?
The 760.
700 gold for 7-0 Wraith King 30 minutes into a game.
It's definitely a little weird, but I think their whole
I would
team
be
was
mad.
there, so they got a lot of spread gold, basically.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
what happened, probably. Because he's the most... There's a lot of calculations, like, are you losing? They were. How farmed is the guy that, in relation to the rest of his team, he's number 1 on his team? Who got the kill on your team, and what's your farm relation? So that's why it's sometimes a lot higher, because if it's, like, the lowest farm guy on your team, like the A, you get a bigger multiplier than what Gyro would have gotten.
Oh, okay.
I believe is how it works. But I don't know if that works for area gold as well. It might. But I'm sure it was a buttload of gold swing either way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always am just one of those people where I get a kill on someone who's like stomping us. I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. I should have gotten a 2,000 gold for that kill. Easily.
I mean, it happens sometimes for sure, but not this time, I guess.
There's some big items coming out from the Radiant. Wraith King, he's bought out for his AC. I don't really think he'll need buyback. And Tiny is very close to the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, that'll help. Especially against some of the lower health heroes like the A, the Ricky, and the SD. The thing they all have in common is they're individually squishy against ranged nuke kind of stuff, and they're going to be able to kill them, or at least burst them down pretty easily. That's kind of when things get really bad for King Baby. And they know that they're in Roche, but they can't do anything about it. Mars going for Crimson Guard, which is... it's okay, I guess.
I don't know how much it'll do against all of the magical damage. I mean, it'll solve
Yeah.
maybe some of the... Does it do the skeletons? Do they get damage reduced from it?
Yeah, it'll damage block the skeletons. It'll damage block the trees, I assume. Not that they don't do a lot of damage, but tree stuff. The buildings will take less damage from the skeletons too.
Yeah, that's true.
It definitely has some. It makes some sense, but I would still like him to have probably a Vlad's instead personally.
Especially
I
if
don't
they
know.
are planning to hold against Mega Creeps. I don't know how they possibly could against this Radiant team. I mean, they just drop the skeletons. They walk up onto the high ground gyro with the flak cannon, going to clear these skeletons out. They will respawn, though. Did he turn his Radiance off that time?
did.
It seems that he did,
And it
yeah.
worked.
But
Yeah, it does
they
work.
still got the Radiant burn damage, so I'm not sure if that was fixed
No,
or
they-
not, but they do
no, they
manage to
didn't.
spear him. But this is a bad target, and now the artillery comes out on the back line. Ricky trying to do something, but they've already completely escaped his ultimate, and now the
Ooh,
toss
good point.
comes in from this Tiny. The BKB committed by Kende. This is the first life out of how many lives does he have? He still has 1 life left. The arrow, it connects on the Ricky. Ricky, he's able to blink strike back, and the tier 3 tower has fallen, and sentries are being placed by both teams in mass. AR trying to run back, drops a smoke cloud, blinks onto his support, but Kende, he's down. He has the buyback available. I think he's debating whether or not it's even worth to continue fighting for this game. And he decides to do it. Toss back on Bjorn. He gets deleted. Buyback out of him. Rev, he's getting low, but the Abaddon is keeping everybody alive. And AR needs to be careful. He has no buyback now. And he goes down. 90 seconds for the Ricky. Kende, he is also just bought back. And GG is finally called.
They did their best. A little bit of misexecution. A lot of weak disruptions, I think. But ultimately, what the reason they lost is because they just got super outlaned. They didn't have kill potential in their lanes. Their lane setup was a little weird. And they just didn't spend their skills to guarantee last hit advantage in the laning stage. So it was basically like nobody was that farmed other than Wraith King, who was a monster, and everybody just played better on the Radiant team. They executed better, that kind of a thing. So maybe got in their own heads about the picks or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a draft that I've seen out of Bjorn's team. I believe the last time that they lost, he was also on the Shadow Demon. I mean, that's just good scouting from Rats, knowing that his 2 favorite heroes are Elder Titan and Earthshaker, and just banning him out. So, you know, when your favorite heroes get banned out, you kind of get into like, okay, well, what do I have to settle for, I guess, for this game?
Well, he needs to settle with something else, I think, because SD was not his hero that game. Laning-wise, he was a little bit slow. He had a couple good disruptions, but he had a lot of misses. Especially like the last one. The Gyro has BKB active. When Ranger walks high ground, he disrupts the enemy hero. It's like not very useful. It all it does is waste your Gyro's BKB, for example. There's like a lot of moments like that where it's kind of hard to read how to play Shadow Demon correctly, but it's all about knowing where the flow of the fight is going and using disruption at the right time. So you were wrong about the Radiance, by the way. He did turn it off. You must have misclicked or something, because I checked both
Wasn't it?
illusions and they were turned off. Yes.
Oh, I
So
thought I clicked the illusion and I saw Radiant. Oh, maybe they were getting Radiance burn by
Oh,
the
okay.
Wraith King after he turned
Gotcha.
it back on, and that's what I saw. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
so I
you
don't-
can turn it off right as it pops.
Yes, I don't know if it was Febby or Gunner that explained it to me. I think it was one of them. But they said that it works similar to like popping BKB after you come out of banishment. That there's like a tiny little frame where you can use your abilities before you're affected by whatever's on the map, basically. And apparently you can do the Radiance, and if you spam it fast enough.
Okay, yeah, I know that somebody had told me about that, but I don't really play enough Wraith King.
Against Shadow Demons, it doesn't happen naturally, man. Come on, what's wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I try to avoid playing 1 and 2 as much as possible.
Okay, cool.
See,
Well, you want to throw me into the new lobby when you get a second? Let's run some meds.
I was just checking to see if the lobby was up, which